Hey guys, super excited to be on today. It is time for our Q&A for the week, and we've had a lot of people sending in different questions, asking lots of different, wanting some information. First of all, I want to give you guys a couple of announcements. Our Russia retreat is coming up, and I'm super excited about it. You guys, we thought we were going to have 200 people at that thing, I think. I think we were, hoping for 200. We are at 390, totally sold out. We've tried to maximize the use of the space. We did not think we'd be able to fit more than 300, but we have 390 people. We have some of you still sad that you are not able to come. I'm so bummed about that. So we're trying to see if we can open up any more space without it being too crazy crowded. So we're checking into that. Be watching, okay? And anyway, so be watching on the Russia group. If you're in Russia or have teams in Russia, you might want to get on that group. It's called Teresa Harding is Coming to Russia. It's a Facebook group, and we are there kind of keeping people posted, letting people know what's going on. So, okay, loving the responses from you guys. Excited about some of the stuff that we talked about last week and how that is how you guys are utilizing it this week. So one of the questions I have for today, she says, "Hi, Teresa, I have 2 team members who were both builders, and they're on my second level, power of 3. Unfortunately, neither of them are building and both are placing lower than 100 PV, separate coincidences. Both these ladies have been very loyal for 3+ years. However, circumstances have changed for both. My questions are, what specifically do you say when approaching them with this, and what to do if at one level I have friends that do nothing and are just happy to get bonuses?" Okay, I'm going to show you something, and I'm going to have them bring in the tripod because I'm going to draw some stuff for you, okay? Just one second. Hey, you guys, can you set up the tripod for me in here? That would be awesome. I'm going to show them a few things. So first of all, what you need to remember is that we can't control the people who are on our team. And honestly, we don't want to. So anything that we do that has them feeling like we expect them to do a certain thing is not okay. Now, for the very first thing that's the most important is the 3 pathways. Yeah, that one. And just go ahead and bring it in right behind me. You can flip the page so that it's blank. These guys are awesome. So you have to make sure that you realize this is your business, but their individual spot is their own choice. They get to do whatever they want to do. And like, we'll have people who come in from online. If you're finding people online, your biggest goal is to find out what it is that they need, what it is that they want. And so, just right back here is totally good. Thanks. So, the most important thing you can do is find out what they really want. And that's why I really do, I push the 3 pathways, because the 3 pathways is a training that you can use. Basically, I teach you how to talk to people so that you find out what they really want. If you've never seen the 3 pathways, just go to my YouTube channel, Teresa Harding, and you will find it. Just look for, how to do the 3 pathways. And then would you have her get me some pens, Tyler? Yeah. Thanks. So what I want you to do is go to 3 pathways. I want you to use that and practice on a couple of people before you actually do it. And don't feel bad if you can't do it perfectly. If you don't know exactly what to say, it's totally okay. Just do the training on the 3 pathways, practice it a couple of times, do the best that you can. Thank you so much, Megan. So what I want you to do is learn how to do that. And let me tell you why. Because this is going to help us to talk to these people, because there's a way that you can do the 3 pathways when people first join your team, and that is awesome. So honestly, every person who shows any interest in the business, I'm going to be doing the 3 pathways with them, because I'm going to find out exactly how much they want to be involved, exactly what they're thinking. If they show any interest in even sharing the oils with someone and they say they don't want to build, well, guess what's going to happen? I'm going to do the 3 pathways with them. Now, there's a way you can do the 3 pathways with someone or get those questions answered, even if they've already been on your team for a really long time, but you have to be careful. You can't just go and say, okay, so, do you want to build, or do you want to share, or do you just want to be a customer? You can't do that. And you would never do the 3 pathways with customers. But for a new customer who hasn't shown any interest in building, they haven't said anything that allows you to open the door to do the 3 pathways, which, by the way, in the 3 pathways training, I teach you exactly how to say it so that you can open the door for that, and it makes it very comfortable and easy. So if they've never said anything that allows you to open that door for the 3 pathways, then basically I'm considering them a consumer. I'm going to do the wellness consult with them anyway. And as I'm doing the wellness consult with them, which if you need to know how to do the wellness consult, I have a video training for that. So you can do a search for that as well. And I think we just called it How to Do a Wellness Consult. When you do the wellness consult, you are walking them through how to use their oils. It's all about them. It's all about helping them. And so the trick is that as you're finding out more about them, if you ask them enough questions about them and what they want, then by the time you're done, you're going to know if they're interested in something more. Because they'll say things. You ask them a question about, okay, so tell me how much you know about the oils, or how long have you been, what are you interested in dōTERRA, that kind of thing. As you ask them questions, even what you think is what they're going to tell you, they're going to be saying things you didn't expect. They're going to be saying things like, well, I just want to use the oils. I mean, if I really like them, then I might be interested in kind of sharing or doing business or something like that. They're going to end up doing those kinds of things, saying things that make you realize, and then it opens the door that you can do the 3 pathways with them. So that's one great way you can do that. Now, if the door never opens for that, number one, 99% of the time, if not more, the door opens for that as you get good at this. And you guys know me. My big thing is you do not pressure people. And this is not about talking them into it because I'm so good at selling and I'm so good at getting them to do what I want, or it is not about that. This is about absolutely helping them. So in the course of trying to find out what they need and trying to find out how you can best help them, guess what's going to happen? A lot of times they'll share some of their needs or their wants, or, I'd love to do the business, but I just don't have time. I've got 4 kids at home and whatever. And you'll go, oh my goodness. Well, if you're interested in that, you know what we could do, or whatever. Let me ask you a few questions, and guess what the questions are? They're the 3 pathways. You're just going to ask them a few questions and say, let's see what we're looking at, and we can kind of figure out where we want to go from here. So really, really utilize the 3 pathways, number 1. And now I told you what to do for new people, but what if, like this question I have says, what do I do with people who are just they're sitting there, they're not really building, they're not doing anything, they're 100, their PV is below 100, so it's not helping with my power of 3, or I'm not getting my power of 3 or whatever. Well, guess what? You can do the exact same thing. You can do the 3 pathways with people if they've ever shown an interest in business. And the way you can do it, the way you can introduce it now that it's been a while since they started, is you can go to them and say, okay, so this is the deal. I just saw this training, and it was super exciting, made me realize that, how I can find out exactly how to help you the best and find out exactly what you're needing, exactly what you're wanting. It's super awesome. I'm super excited to do it. So what we're doing is we're going to do these. I'm going to meet with each of my customers. I'm going to meet with each of the people on my team, or however you want to say it. And so we're going to do this. It's a half hour, and I bring a prize. So I bring something really fun for you. I'm bringing some oils, and you get to choose 3 of your favorites, and I'm going to give you free samples or whatever. You offer something so that they're going, oh, you're kidding. That sounds so fun. Now, I want to teach you guys something, and it is this. Which way? This way. Okay. When you are having a conversation with someone, this is what you always need to do. I want you guys, this is the only thing I'm going to write on this page, because I want you to remember it. Plus, minus, plus. You always say the positive thing first, or the thing that is fun for them to hear, that's exciting for them to hear. And then you say the thing that might be difficult for them to hear, or that is the tough thing that needs to be said, or whatever. And then you end with something positive. So let's say that you're working with a leader who is kind of being a sass mouth to all their downline, and the downline's getting all mad. You tell them, okay, I have never, and you always be honest, I've never seen anybody who cares so much about their team and wants to make sure that all their leaders have everything they need. Like, you care about your team. It is seriously so impressive. And I'm super grateful for that. Okay. So you're going to do that. Then you say, I need to talk to you about something that's coming up with your team members. Now notice, I didn't get all drama. I didn't go, I need to talk to you about something that's come up. Because if I do that, now all of a sudden their defenses are up. They're going, what? There's a problem. But notice how at the end of each sentence, my tone of voice goes down, we're going to do this, and this is what happened, and we need to talk about this, and some of your, something going on in your team. Because when the tone goes down, it sounds like, not a big deal, we just need to talk about it. It feels like that. But notice what happens if I do the tone going up at the end of each of those phrases, okay? If I say, there's something going on with your team, and we need to talk about it. It sounds drama. It sounds like, okay, would you just spit it out? Okay, it's frustrating, so don't do it like that. What you want to do is positive, negative, positive, and meaning the thing that they're excited to hear, the thing that's hard for them to hear, or the thing that's even honestly not just hard for them to hear, but is maybe negative. Maybe there is something negative, but you got to figure out a way to say it in the most valuable, helpful way. And it can't be, okay, your leaders are all upset with you. Okay, so listen to what I'm going to say. I'm going to say that, you're awesome, all these awesome things about you. And if I go on too long here, this sounds fake. The whole thing sounds fake. It's got to be, I'm getting to the point, because I made this mistake one time when I was going to be letting one of my employees go because it was working out. It wasn't a great fit. They were a great person. There was not really a problem. It's just, it wasn't a good fit. And when I sat down with them, and I love this person. So when I sat down with them, I said, so how did it go with your date last night? And blah, blah, blah. And I wanted to know about them. So I started doing all the fun stuff. And then we got to hear, and I'm like, hey, so I just wanted to let you know, and I told them that it wasn't going to work. And then they felt totally like I had been a hypocrite. Here I am asking about their day and asking about all this stuff. But really, you need to get to the point. If you're going to say something that's hard to hear, you need to say, hey, I need to talk. I need to have a meeting with you. I want to go over some stuff with your team. When is a good time? Blah, blah, blah. Then when we get together, I say the positive thing. I say, one of the things I've been noticing about your team is that how awesome you take care of them. I can't believe how you respond to them so quickly. I can't believe, whatever, the awesome stuff, okay? But it's got to be short and quick, because I'm getting to the point. If I don't get to the point fast enough, it feels fake. So this and this is what happened, and I'm getting a lot of feedback from some of your leaders that I knew you'd want to know, and so I want to go over it with you, because I think there's some things that they're needing that I think they don't know how to ask you for, or whatever. So I'm not going to say they're all complaining about you. I'm going to say it in a way that there's hope. Okay, there's some things, and she's going to say that he or she is going to go, well, like what? And then of course they might feel defensive or whatever. Say, don't worry, we'll figure this out. But this is what they're concerned about, and they're feeling like you're so good at doing the classes, or you're so assertive about building your business, that they're not feeling like they get to fly. They don't feel like they get to be in charge or do anything. And then guess what? This leader is going to talk to me and go on about, well, I ask them to do stuff and they won't do it. And well, guess what? You're their upline. Now is the time where you get to listen. You get to help them feel heard and validated, because guess what? You're going to ask them to do some hard things, so they get to be validated. Think about how you feel when you're talking with your spouse or someone that you care about, and you have a disagreement or an argument or something, and you say, well, you come to them and you say, well, I feel really bad about this and the way you acted about this. If they go, well, I didn't mean it, then immediately you're like, okay, it doesn't even feel like you care. But if they say, oh no, you did? I am so sorry. So like, you're talking about when I said this? Oh my goodness. And you ask them, then as soon as you feel heard, you're like, yes, that's how I felt. And then you feel loved and cared about. And they're like, oh my goodness, I am so sorry. Okay, so tell me how you'd like me to respond in that situation, or I'll try not to respond that way again. Or, oh my goodness, I didn't even think of that. I'm sorry. I can see how that would look bad to somebody else, or whatever. Okay, so validate them. They need to be heard for a minute, because you just told them something hard. And then that's where they can be drama if they want. But don't let it turn into an hour. It can be several minutes, whatever, but it needs to quickly get to a point where you say, okay, so this is the deal. Apparently we need to go out for ice cream, or apparently we need to go out on a girl date and have a pity party, and we'll totally do that. But let's figure out a solution for the problem, because we need to make sure that your leaders aren't distancing themselves from you and blah, 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 whatever. And then you kind of make a plan and say, honestly, you're going to be awesome. You know what to do. Follow this plan, try a few things. Let's connect again next week and see how it went, and see if you're getting a better response. and I'll kind of keep my finger on the pulse of what your leaders are feeling like and what they're saying. I'm going to make sure that they don't get to talk about you, but they want to be connected with you in this way. And I think this will make a difference. So you know what to do. You'll be good at it. Notice how I ended with that. Look, it was short, no drama. Okay. So think about that as you are thinking about talking to people on your team. Now, the next thing I want to tell you is you do not get to tell them what they should or should not do. You don't get to control. Okay? And the reason I want to say that is because that's ultimately deep down, that's kind of what we want to do. We want to control them. We want to get them to make a bigger order. We want to get them to do more work in the business. If you really look at it like you're not going to control, you don't get to control people, okay? Then you absolutely will look at it like, okay, so we'll call the girl on my front line who is not ordering, and she's ordering $25 a month, and she's my power of 3. Her name is Sarah. In fact, okay, now we're going to do this. Okay, here's Sarah. Here's me. Here is Sarah. And Sarah's not ordering. She's only ordering about $25 a month, and I need her to order more for my power of 3. I've got somebody here who's ordering 150 plus a month, and somebody over here who's also sometimes they order 100 plus, but sometimes they order about 50 plus. Okay, so sometimes they do more. And I don't know what your exact situation is, but this gives you a good idea, okay? So when I go to Sarah, do I get to say, hey, Sarah, you're on my front line, and I really am trying to get the power of... No, that's immediately selfish. This is not about you. This is your business, and you're trying to create a business that is going to be successful and that you get the power of 3. But you don't get to go to Sarah and guilt trip her into saying, oh, I need you to make an order. You don't get to do that. This is her spot, her business. She can do whatever she wants. She doesn't have to do anything she doesn't want to. Now, we'll talk about in a minute, what if she had said that she would? Because of course we can address that too. But I'm going to go to Sarah and say, hey, Sarah, you're totally on my front line. I learned this new training, and I'm super excited. I'm realizing that I didn't do a good job at the beginning finding out what the people on my team want, whether somebody's a consumer or if they want to build or whatever, doesn't matter. But I didn't do a good job finding out what my people need so that I know how to help them make sure that they have what they need. Because guess what? Your job is not to go and get her to up her order. Your job is to go and do the 3 pathways, or if you have a better way, if you have something that is proven and works, great. But I haven't seen anything better than the 3 pathways that works for every person every time. If you have it, let me know, because I would love to have you on as an interview. We can kind of talk about some things that might help a lot of people. But here's Sarah. I'm going to go to her and say, hey, my goal is to find out what it is that you want. Now, if I just come to Sarah and start like that, my goal is to find out she's like, why are you calling me? But if I come to her and say, hey, I just went to this training and it was phenomenal. Yeah, talk about how I'm so phenomenal. I'm just kidding. So go to her and tell her, hey, I've got this, I saw this new training. It made me realize a way that I can take way better care of my people. And so I'm super excited about it. So what I need to do is, it's something that some questions I should have asked you at the very beginning. And so then you can sit down with her. This is only for people who have actually shown an interest in sharing the oils or building. And I teach you in the 3 pathways exactly what that looks like. So don't worry about that. Okay. But I'm going to go to her. And now the only thing I need to care about is what her answers are. What does she want? Because when I'm done talking to her and asking her questions, if I find out that she doesn't want to do more orders, that this is exactly what she likes, now I know. Now I know. I can make sure she knows about the oils and how to use them. She knows when there's a promo, but anymore, and now I know I'm not going to count this as one of my frontline power of 3 people. Guess what though? That $25 can't count toward the total 600 points that I need, because you need a total of, between this row and this row of people, you need a total of 600 points. And every person has to do at least 100. And let's make sure you can see that. So what we try to set it up is so that everybody's doing 150 points, right? If everybody's doing 150 points, then we're at 600. But what if I do 150 here and this person is doing 150, so we're good there, but these two aren't? Well, guess what? If everybody's doing 100, then the other, you've only got 400 points, right? Well, the other 200 can come from, like, let's say Sarah. If you've got another person here who's buying $15 a month, you've got another person here who's buying $40 a month. The other 200 points can come from anywhere. So maybe Sarah will become someone who the $25 a month ends up helping with the 200. But just trust me, you do not get to go to Sarah and try to get her to do what you want her to do. This is about finding out what Sarah needs. Because as soon as you know that Sarah now is not going to be one of your 100 for your power of 3, now you know you need to find someone else. And the biggest reason that people, those of you who've seen me teach, you know what's the biggest reason why people will not, why they're so, like, why they won't try to find someone else. Why they keep trying to use Sarah. Tell me. I'm going to wait a second and see if you guys answer it in the comments. Hey, you guys, seeing a lot of greetings out here. Yeah, Sherry's saying, find out what they really want and honor it, make it a win-win. Absolutely, Sherry. Good to see you on here. Dolores says, love the tone of voice help. Yeah, I'm telling you, practice that and you'll start to notice, wow, makes a big difference. And I didn't realize how often I was sounding a little sassy because I was irritated, and then it sounds like it. When I change my tone of voice, all of a sudden it changes everything. Okay, so I think there's enough of a lag. I don't know if you guys don't know the answer or if I don't see it yet, but the biggest reason we keep trying to use Sarah is fear. Fear that we can't find more people. That's the biggest reason. And I am telling you, if you have this fear, because what if you really knew that you could sign up 10 new people this week, no problem, and at least 1 or 2 of them would want to do the business? Would you keep trying to force Sarah to do that? No. You wouldn't even be thinking about talking to them about that, would you? So if you want to know how to find more people, then you do the One Sample Away challenge. It's onesampleaway.com. I am telling you, it will change your life. When we do our retreats, and I teach people exactly, in fact, that's what we're going to be doing in Russia. I'm going to teach you exactly what you need to do step by step to be successful right from the beginning. But then you go home from the retreat and it's easy to go, you know, I'm busy. Oh, I'll start tomorrow or whatever. The One Sample Away, you want to know what that does? That starts you on that day. It takes you through the first 30 days of exactly what you need to do every single day. And you get all the training and all the videos, but after it's over, they disappear. So it incentivizes people to actually do it. And I'm telling you, we are getting crazy, amazing responses from the people who are doing the One Sample Away challenge. You will know how to recruit by the time you're done. And by the time you're done with your first 30 days, guess what's going to happen? You will have new people. You will have new enrollments signed up on your team. And can you imagine if you combine, and that's building organically. Can you imagine if you combine that with the online stuff that we're doing? And so for those of you who aren't aware of the online stuff, go to marketinggamechangersonline.com and go check that out, because we are giving you a free funnel. We're giving you tons of stuff that are basically exactly what you need to keep it as simple as possible to be able to start working toward getting enrollments online. And then you can get as heavily involved as you want and get more complicated or whatever, but we give you the basic, simple stuff. And in fact, next week, one of the things I'm going to talk to you guys about is how, in fact, I better write this down. I think I told you last week what I was going to talk about today, and I hope I'm talking about it. I'm going to talk to you about a basic outline, in a nutshell, the online thing, how to do it so that you keep it simple. Okay, so I'm going to write this next week so I don't forget. Keep it simple online. If I don't write it down, I might forget, because I have so many conversations with so many leaders. Okay, so you guys, this is the deal. If you are afraid because you don't know if you'll find people, then get on that One Sample Away. And the other thing I want to tell you is this. If you really knew you could find people, are you going to be worried about this person? No. You're going to be worried about this person? No. And guess what? You'll also start placing people way smarter, because you won't place them because you're afraid. You won't place them because, I found somebody who breathes and I need to put them in this empty spot. Who knows when I'll get somebody else? if you know you're going to get somebody else, you're like, that's not the best spot for that person because they don't seem really committed. They don't seem ready to go. And for this spot, I need somebody who's ready to go. Okay. So think about that, you guys. And hopefully that will give you a way to answer the questions for these people, for those 2 people on your team, for the person who put this question out. And wow, you guys, I get so excited about the question. I always think I'm going to answer 10 questions today, but that probably answered 10 questions kind of in a, in different, covering different portions of it. But the last thing I'm going to talk about before I go, and remember right after I'm done with this one, I go over to the Marketing Game Changers Facebook group, and I'm going to answer questions there. That's all online stuff. So, but the last question I'll answer here is about motivating my downline. Everyday actions on how to motivate and support your downline to help them be successful. Okay. Number 1. In fact, I just did a podcast about this. I don't know when we're posting that podcast. And by the way, the podcast is also called Marketing Game Changers Secrets. So I'm not going to worry that you can't see me. I just kind of want to show you this. The everyday actions on how to motivate people. There is one thing that people need. One. There's only one. When you have new recruits and you are working with the people on your team, honestly, I did the podcast about new recruits, but really it's about new recruits or people who've been on your team. There's only one thing that they need the most. Because if they have this one thing, if you can teach them this one thing, if you can keep this one thing infused in what you're training, then they will not leave. And it is this. At the beginning of the 1 sample away challenge, we spend time